Join Bob Kolazarik as he welcomes a diverse array of guests to the enlightening talk show, Greetings from the Ashram. In each episode, Bob sits down with experts and practitioners from the world of complementary healing modalities, spirituality, and holistic wellness to delve into the transformative power of these practices. From ancient traditions to cutting-edge therapies, Greetings from the Ashram offers viewers an insightful and uplifting journey into the realms of mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome your host, Bob Kolazarik.
Hello, everyone. Namaste and welcome. I am Bob Kolazarik, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your continued support of the show. Tonight, I'm excited to have as my guest Hengameh Fazeli. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly. She's a co-founder of pranaworld.net. She's a PhD, an architect by profession, and a Pranic Healing trainer. She has been practicing healing since 2007 and has conducted Pranic Healing workshops in Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Philippines to date. Hengameh's love for healing and helping the community with Pranic Healing helped her to win the title of Energy Healing of the Year in 2020 in Malaysia. I mean, that's a fantastic accomplishment. She is passionate about meditation and holistic therapy and believes through mindful practice, we can bring back quality and joy into the modern world. She likes writing, painting, and creative thinking, and has published a number of books in the field of architecture and wellness. She also contributes articles to various well-known self-motivational websites and magazines, including Body, Mind, Soul, Life Hack, and Pick the Brain. I'm excited to have her on the program. Welcome, Hengameh.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be with you in this show tonight.
Oh, thank you. No, the honor is all mine. I mean, your accomplishments are, quite fantastic. And I just want to say thank you, a huge thank you for being on the program in support of my mission. And it's a shared mission to share our healing modality and spiritual practice with the world. And, because the world needs it, can we, it's
Definitely.
It's in bad shape, but it's, important for, people in the West. I mean, you're from a different part of the world, and the people in the West aren't as spiritually aware as, people in the East. They say the East is spiritually rich, maybe materialistically poor. In the West, we're materialistically rich, spiritually poor, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that you've been a PhD, which I think is really impressive, because part of my goal is to show we're not a bunch of hippies smoking weed, sitting out back, and but we're professional people, modern day yogis and pranic healers, and you've been doing it for 20 years. So thank you. It's a huge thank you to be here. So
thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, that's great. So tell me about your pranic healing. You started. You've been in it for a while, right? So what was how did you get started with it?
Yes, I started my spiritual practices when I was 20 years old, I think, around that time. And I started with just joining a group of spiritual practitioners, joining together, doing different practices and meditations on a regular basis. And one of the meditations they were doing was meditation on twin hearts. And at that time, I didn't know this meditation is part of Pranic Healing. I was just joining that group of young, spiritual seekers. And interestingly, one of them had been to India, and that time by a cassette, and the cassette was the meditation twin hearts. And that's how we were doing it together. And I noticed a lot of changes when I started practicing that meditation on twin hearts, especially. And I started to become more patient, more happier. And 2 years later, there was this workshop of Pranic Healing, and I really wanted to join. At that time, I was just studying bachelor's of architecture, and I was not working, and I didn't want to take money from my parents for the class. And so, when you start your spiritual journey, you start to see these miracles happening, bigger or smaller, and that gives you confirmation that you are on the right path. So I remember for this basic pranic healing workshop, I really was interested and excited to join. And somehow out of the blues, my university gave like financial reward to top students. And interestingly, the amount was almost like basic pranic healing fee, the workshop fee. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I just took it and joined the basic class. And I really got interested into the class when you start scanning the energy and, starting to do healing, and you see things happening. So it gives you a lot of excitement to do more. So 1 month later, there was this advanced and psychotherapy workshop, and it was the same thing. I didn't have money. I didn't want to take it from my parents. So I was thinking, okay, now how can I join this one? And this time my father's company gave like again rewards to like top students. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. maybe maybe this is my death. Like God wants me to do this more and more. And again, interestingly, the amount is like almost the same. You don't have extra for anything else. You just take the money, go for the class. And so for Arhatic, I was already an intern and started working and so on. But yeah, those things, these miracles, these, events, or you can call it coincidence, but when it keeps happening, it gives you confirmation that this is not just coincidence. This is something really happening, and this is divine. And yeah, so it made me more and more interested to study pranic healing and go further.
Yeah, I'm not one that believes in coincidences. I do take those as like signs on the path, like you
Exactly.
are on the right path. And because there's so many, as you become more aware and you practice, and like you said, it's really a matter of having faith with it, right? And the confidence, like, okay, I see this as you say divine like guidance. Yeah, I believe
Exactly.
I really do. And, at some point you get to a level of awareness and through your spiritual practice that, you know, if you're not on the right path, you'll run into the walls, and then but it guides you around those paths. And the other thing that I love what you were saying is about the practice of meditation on twin hearts and how powerful it was and how life changing it was. Last
Exactly.
week I had Dr. Christopher No on, and he was saying that when he heard meditation on twin hearts for the first time, he knew pranic healing was for him, and he also has been doing it for 20 years. I had a profound experience with meditation on twin hearts as well, and that put me on this path. So yeah, it is powerful, and I talk about meditations on twin hearts all the time. I will have an episode kind of dedicated a lot more time to it, but it is such a powerful
Yes. And it just came at the moment that I was feeling like spiritually empty. I was feeling emptiness. Like I told you, when I started spiritual practices, I was just became a student of bachelor's degree of architecture. And when you are young, you have these goals and aspirations in mind, what you want to do with your life, what is the purpose. And my purpose, like many other students who just started studying a major, was to become a famous architect. So that was my goal. And now when I look back at it, it's funny. But so I joined this class as part of my course of architecture about contemporary architects. And there were some architects that I really admired their work. And during this class, I came to know one of my role models died alone in a metro, and for like few hours or if few days, if I'm not mistaken, nobody knew who he was. And
well,
so this really like shattered my purpose of becoming a famous architect, because I thought I can be a very famous architect, but I could die alone in a metro and no one know. or like in future incarnations, I can't even remember who I was in the previous lifetime, and I can't even take any money with me or fame or anything. So this is really not a good purpose. And that made me empty, because you remember, like you think about it, suddenly your goal, your whole purpose of life gets like broken, and then you don't have any more inspiration to wake up every morning. So I went into this emptiness feeling, and that is when I got pushed into this spiritual journey, and I started to get to know Twin Hearts meditation. And I remember the first few meditations I cried, and all those like sadness and emptiness came out. And eventually I got so much into pranic healing, and that gave me a new purpose, and like to help others to grow spiritually, and to a higher purpose actually, so that when you learn things and when you move forward in a spiritual path, and so when you die, you can take it with you now. It's not like you leave it behind. And yeah.
Yeah, we take our whatever spiritual growth that we've had up to that point, that stays with the soul. The good and the
Exactly.
bad karma will stay with you. The good karma will stay with you.
Exactly.
We definitely, I've been working off some karma this lifetime for sure. You know, you had such a beautiful awakening. You know, it's at an early age. You know, I had a spiritual awakening, but when I was a teenager as well. But wasn't pulled into pranic healing and neurotic yoga until like 5 years ago. I wish I had found it so many years ago. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what life would be like. But I had to go through my own, you know, stuff, learn my lessons. And not always pleasant, but man, what a gift it is to do this work and be a part of this community. So, how's it influence you in your work? Are you still a working architect? Or yeah. So do you use it? How do you use it? I could tell you a story if we have time about when I was working as a project manager um, for the Empire State Building doing the elevator modernization. But you go first because I had some fun stories with that.
So fantastic. Yeah, sure. I like to hear about that. Well, you see how Master Chorakok Sri says pranic healing is not is a way of life. You know, meditation is not just spirituality is not just doing meditation, and pranic healing is a way of life. And I can really see when we start practicing spirituality, it starts affecting every aspect of life, including family, relationships, business, because you start consciously or subconsciously remember the teachings and then apply them in your life. For example, when I was a teenager, I used to lie a lot. And and somehow after I joined pranic healing, it just stopped, and I couldn't. Like when I wanted to say something which was a lie to my mother, it wouldn't come out of my mouth. It's really interesting. And I remember once she was asking me a question, I wanted to lie, but I couldn't, so I started laughing. And then she knew that I didn't do something that she wanted me to do. And that is as something very like simple, but you start becoming more honest. You start practicing what you want. You know that there's the saying, do to others what you want others to do to you. Do not do to others the things you do not want others to do unto you. So you start practicing this. You start thinking more about the consequences of your actions.
Yeah,
And
we definitely have character building and building those virtues, and that's part of the erotic yoga practice. And we become that, and we,
exactly.
you know, so that's wonderful. But it is time to take a short commercial break. I'm your host,
Sure.
Bob Kolazarek, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back after this with more of Hengameh.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Bob Kolazarek, and you are watching Reading from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We are back with Hengameh Fazeli, PhD, architect, pranic healer, founder of pranaworld.net, which is a wonderful resource for all things Arhatic yoga and spirituality. So tell us about how, this is like a world-renowned prana world. Everybody in our community knows about it, right? So how did that come about?
Well, Prana World started in 2011, and I think when I was in Malaysia, I was studying in Malaysia, and even that is a story how I ended up in Malaysia, because I was supposed to go to Canada. But anyway, when I went to Malaysia, I was more involved in Pranic Healing, and I started volunteering with the Pranic Healing Foundation of Malaysia, which was very new at that time. And somehow again I got pulled into it, and I started working with the foundation. And in December 2011, this suddenly idea came to start this blog on pranic healing and spirituality. And the idea started with making a video, what is pranic healing. And if you look at YouTube, that video is with sketchy, figures, and started, even that storyline just came to my mind out of the blues. And I said, okay, let's just make this video, one on meditation, twin hearts, and one on pranic healing. And the first blog post was on Christmas 2011 about forgiveness. It started with that, and it was a very short post. So we posted that, and then made these two videos and started, a few posts and a few posters. And suddenly it got so much of attention from pranic healers in India, in different parts of the world. They contacted me, and how can you make these posters for us, or can we translate the video and the pranic healing and what is twin hearts videos, can we translate and use them in our website or in our centers? And I was like, wow, yes, why not? just use whatever you want. And it got so much of attention and excitement that we started writing more and more. And I went to Philippines for a few months, and there Master Daphne really inspired and pushed me to start a physical center when we are back. And I was very scared at that time because, I'm not Malaysian. I originally from Iran. And so I was scared, what if we are not successful, because I don't know people there. So I was asking Master Daphne, Master, I'm a bit scared. What if it doesn't take off? And, she told me, the only thing that leads to failure is laziness. Physical laziness, emotional laziness, mental laziness, spiritual laziness. And if you have constancy, somehow you will find a way. And
Yeah, constancy of aim and effort, all those things. That's what we work on in our practice. And she's
exactly.
But we
So
have a
when, yeah,
I have a photo real quick that we could show up of what your website
sure.
looks at. Well, actually, that's your center right now. That's
Yes.
looks very impressive. That's in Malaysia. That's
Yes, that is in Malaysia. We did the interior design ourselves. And, this is one of the rental for this place is quite expensive compared to other places that you can get. But we really wanted to have this green space in front and windows. And, that is another worry I had, that we are just starting this with so much of rental for every month. What if it doesn't take off? And it took off immediately. And we started a bit even aggressively. We started to have sessions almost every night of the week. And when we started from the second month itself, we had 2 basic pranic healing workshops every month, one advanced and one psychotherapy.
so these pictures up there on the screen now. This is what you've evolved through. These are your workshops that you're holding.
Yes, the two photos on the right are from Vietnam, and that is also have an interesting story I will share with you shortly. And the 2 other ones on the left are in Malaysia. The top one is in Prana World, and the other one, which I'm doing meditation, is in one of the yoga centers in Malaysia.
Yeah. So for those of
Yeah.
you at home that don't know, the sitting with the hands out, that's with the blessing of the earth, part of the meditation on twin hearts, which is service to the world as well, right? Um, so how long did it take, from Master Daphne giving you that great advice and then opening up the center, and how did you grow so big? How long did that take?
Um, I can say a few months, like maybe 6 months, because Master Daphne, I talked to her when I was in Philippines. I think it was in November, and then I went back to Malaysia. I think in February. We started a center in March, and from April itself we started the classes. And I said we started very aggressively. Almost every week we had class, and we were really pushing to have people with regular sessions, healing nights, meditation evenings, and seminars, and so on. And 1 year later, we started Pranic Healing in Vietnam and Cambodia. And how it started was I had a dream
So when you
that
say started, there wasn't pranic healers there at all? Oh,
no,
really? So
we
you
started
you were
from
influential
scratch.
in getting that started. Wow.
Yes. So it was, I think, a year or a year and a half later, I had this dream that I was attending a retreat, and the retreat was by Master Choakoksu himself. And then he was walking towards the door. I was just sitting in one of the rows, and he just like looked at my eyes in a namaste position like that, and he said, "Start Vietnam." And I was
Wow.
like, wow. I woke up in the morning, I went to the center, and I told, we had another instructor with me, Farah. I told her, like, I had this dream, and let's start pranic healing. And there is one person in India that helped us a lot with Pranabal Arco. So I told him also. We started literally emailing all these yoga centers, wellness centers in Vietnam and in Cambodia, and asking if they want to host us for pranic healing workshop. And like out of like, I don't know how many emails we sent, one person in Vietnam said yes, they are willing to do that. So we arranged a time, like a week. We said we will go for a week, we will do healing, and we will do a class Saturday and Sunday, and we will come back. Yeah, and when we went there, they didn't actually do much. And I was feeling worried for a second that what if nothing happens and all this money we spent coming here go to waste. One person from Malaysia and Arco from India also joined me in that trip. And one of the images you showed was that first workshop. So we told them, just call all your friends, let everybody come, we will do healing, let's see what happens. And from those healings, there was an influential person in Ho Chi Minh. He said he will host us. We went there. They started calling all their friends. We started just to do healing. One day before the class, I didn't know how many we are going to have. And I was like a bit scared. So when we went to the class, we had like 24 students, I think. And I was like, wow. And that quote from Master Choa came to my mind, that your limitations is not limitations of God and the teacher. So I thought, okay, we just need to be available. We just need to do what we can and just leave the rest to the teacher. If he asks you to go, he knows, you know. And same thing happened with Cambodia. There was one person, she wanted to learn pranic healing, and because of that, she hosted a class in her center, and we kept going and doing classes. Yeah, so it's all very interesting. I learned from that incident that we should not have worry. If you are doing like divine work, the divine will take care of the rest. You just need to do your part. That's all.
And there's a lot of faith required to be able to do that. And
Yeah.
you hear about a lot, like you want to like let life work for you, right? So you have a vision of what you want to do, and you just, like I said, you do what you need to do every day in support of your vision, but you get your head out of the way and let life unfold. And the way that it unfolds, and like you said, just things fall into place, and that's the universe and the teacher and the inner world beings helping guide us along on the work that we're supposed to do. What it's really fascinating is your dream about Master Choa. He left the body, I think, in 2007, correct? So, and your
Yes.
dream was somewhere in like 2011 or after. So,
This was, I think, 2016, if I'm not mistaken. That is when I think we started Vietnam 2016 or 17, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, so
Yes.
definitely he's guiding you for sure. I have no doubt about that. And the other thing interesting that you said was the person who sponsored you in Ho Chi Minh.
Yes.
Was that a coincidence too? Did this person just show up
Yeah.
out of nowhere? Or
Yeah, this person who said he will help us conduct classes was in a smaller village. So when we asked them to call their friends, one of the friends was this influential person who was, I think he's a publisher. He publishes spiritual books. So he said he wants to meet us. So we went to his house, and him and his wife started to calling their friends. And so me and these two other people, Arco and Juanita, we were just doing healing, and they were doing their registration. So that's why I didn't know how many we are registering. We were just doing the healing, talking to people, and they did the rest of the work. And this influential person actually sponsored the workshop venue for the first class. And then
uh,
after that, other instructors started to go. Farah started to go from Prana World. Then Master Fate sent instructors from Philippines. So that is how it continued. And it's still like Pranic Healing is quite big now in Vietnam, and is still going on. Yeah.
and Cambodia is going strong too. Or how?
Cambodia, we couldn't go when there was this lockdown, so it slowed down a bit, and it's because most of the students were also foreigners. But yeah, it started, and they still have this center there. I think it's in Sihanoukville, if I'm not mistaken, the city. Yes.
Wow. Wow. I didn't realize, I knew you did work in Vietnam. I didn't know you were like instrumental in opening it up to pranic healing and, blessings of the teacher. And, you definitely guided, and you're doing work as an architect during this whole time as well. So you got
Yes.
pretty good time management skills. How do you keep your balance in your life? Is it just through the meditation? Because you and I had lunch with your husband around the holidays, and you were telling me all these things, which was great to see that you're actually in my neck of the woods for however long you're here. But like how do you do everything that you do? Because you do so much. You work for the Institute for Inner Studies, and we're going to talk about them a little bit, the Global Pranic Healing, World Pranic Healing Foundation, and you work for all these organizations and help. So, and you're doing your work as an architect. How do you do it?
Yeah, in Malaysia, when we were doing these workshops, I also was working with an architecture firm and a superset design studio. And I think it's all about the teachings. There is a quote by Master Choa Kok Sui saying, when you do regular meditation or Hatha practices, your chakras start to gain muscles, your chakras start to get bigger. And then he says, as you are doing a spiritual practice, you should start to see more success in your life. And if not, there is something wrong. And I have really experienced that, because as we do more of our Hatha practices, the chakras started to get bigger and bigger, and they start to get more activated, especially if you go to higher levels, but even prep level itself. And then as the chakras get bigger, you find yourself more willful, more loving, more creative, and somehow you see that you are able to produce more results compared to before. I was very shy since
What?
childhood, really, to the extent that when the teacher was asking me question, I couldn't answer, not because I didn't know the answer, because I was shy to answer in front of the rest of the students. So imagine that much of shyness. And now I'm talking like to you here. And in 2015, I think I can recall when was the Pranic Healers Convention in Philippines. I gave a talk on Feng Shui in front of 2,500 people, including masters. And if it was the old me, that was a big no. Don't even think about it, because I couldn't even talk in front of a small group of people. And all these things are just the result of practicing pranic healing and or hatha yoga. And yeah, that is the only thing, because since I joined basic pranic healing, I only practiced pranic healing. Before that, yes, I practiced so many other teachings, but after that, I was thinking this is for me. And yeah, and I was
Oh,
very lazy. So I remember after I learned pranic healing, I said, okay, two of my chakras, they need to be improved. So I was really working on them almost every day, cleaning my throat chakra, energizing my basic chakra. And I started to see improvements. Yeah,
yeah, it definitely works. And you're right. You do that harmonic practice, your spiritual cords get bigger, you have more energy coming through you, more divine energy, makes for better healing, makes for like creating, using energy, bless your projects and all that stuff.
exactly.
Much more powerful. But it's time to take another short commercial break. I am your host, Bob Kolazarek, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back with more with Hengameh right after this.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Bob Kozarek, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We're back with Hengameh Fazeli, PhD, architect, pranic healer extraordinaire, opener of countries for pranic healing. I didn't know that. Just amazing. So you obviously know a lot of people throughout the world, and you work closely with the Institute for Inner Studies, IIS Inc. My audience has never heard about them. We haven't had anybody international on the show before. So can you explain a little bit about IIS, what they do, who they are, and what you do for them?
Yes, the Institute for Inner Studies is an organization that was set up by Master Chua Kok Sui, and they are actually the headquarters of Pranic Healing. They hold all the copyrights and all the rights to the teachings, and one of the things they do is to make sure the purity of the teachings are maintained, and the license, like through the teachers, they all need to have license to teach, and so they also have an Institute for Inner Studies Publishing Foundation that publish all the books, CDs, audios. And so they look over pranic healing all over the world. And then there is World Pranic Healing Foundation, who is right under the institute, and they take care of pranic healing in developing countries. Like I started pranic healing from Iran, and that is under World Pranic Healing Foundation. And then the World Pranic Healing is under IIS eventually. And now Malaysia is under the Institute for Inner Studies, including also USA and all these developed countries. They are directly under the Institute. And what I do with them is social media. So we help with social media marketing, with designs, and all of this. And we started a project with them, which is called Beyond the Mind. And that is right under IIS by them. And the purpose of
I
Beyond the
think
Mind.
you have
Yes.
a picture of the website of Beyond the Mind. If Christian could maybe find that and throw that up there. Oh, wait. Hold on. We can go back. So these are the masters, right, from the World Pranic Healing Association at the top. You mentioned Master Daphne there, but didn't Master Daphne pass? Did she leave the body?
Yes, she passed away right just after we started Prana World. But she was the master in charge of Malaysia, and I worked closely with her. She's fantastic. She was fantastic, and she's very, very inspirational. Like, she pushed us to start Prana World. I don't know. She was amazing. Her energy is like really a powerhouse. She was one of the key people under development of behind development of the ashram in India, GMCK's or Hatha Yoga Ashram. And yeah, she was in charge of Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and all these countries.
And then we got Master Danny, who I've not met or really have much exposure to Master Danny or Master Faith. But Master Hector I've seen before. He lives in Italy, I believe. And Master Hermie, I don't know. You have experience with any of those masters?
Yes, I have, each of the masters, they have a different way of teaching and different approach to the teachings. So like Master Daphne's classes were very inspirational, push you to start doing things, and very, it's like gives you power. And then Master Danny's workshops is very much into details. Like whenever I wanted to know how to do the techniques exactly and why we do the techniques this way, what is the logic behind them, Master Danny's workshops are amazing, full of these details that gives you a lot of understanding towards the teachings. And then Master Fate, after Master Daphne passed away, I was working a lot with Master Fate. She is also amazing, super loving, very inspirational, and like so many people message her from all over the world, and she replies immediately. she I don't know how she does it, and she's a fantastic clairvoyant. She told me a few things about things that I was sure that it's going to happen in another way, and then they happened in the way that Master Fate said. And I was like, wow, how she know? And she's a fantastic clairvoyant. And Master Hermie, as workshops are very much into applications, like how to apply the teachings in your life. Like you learn about the practices, now what to do with it, when you can apply, let's say, this technique in relationships, in life, in business, in, it's very application based. And Master Hector's workshops very mystical, like full of energy, and it's like, yeah, sometimes it's so deep and high level that like you need to think afterwards to understand what was just said. But yeah, very amazing also.
Yeah, I'd like to get more involved with Master Hector. He resonates with me. We were sitting in on this global erotic yoga retreat, and he was presenting, obviously online, and he was just telling stories about when he was a kid and some of the things like he used to do, like take a magnifying glass and burn ants or whatever it was, just like, it's like, but he just like, I was that way, but you change and you grow and you don't do that. And you obviously are heartfelt, not to hurt any creature, right? But he is, very humble and very
Yes.
forthright about, how he used to be. And, Master Nona, she was, more of a directly under IIS, but she also tells stories. She used to be a nun, and she tells stories about things
Yes.
that she's done wrong, and but she'll laugh about it or whatever. But by the grace of the teachings and life, you grow on and you overcome it, and you don't do that kind of stuff anymore. So it's really remarkable. These masters.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about though, with the clairvoyance. Like I see Master Glenn every once in a while, and like Master Glenn, I don't have a lot of time with him. He's always so busy, but there's nuggets, right? So it's like he'll tell me like a nugget: you should do this, take care of your ex-wife, which I did when she was dying, and it just paid such big dividends. And I want to talk about that story more on February 2nd. But yeah, I spent 8 months just guiding her. But that, like you said, you come out of your solar plexus, you learn the triggers, and your heart expands, and now you start operating from a place of love and understanding.
Forgiveness. Yes.
Forgiveness is huge. And you talked earlier about crying under meditation on Twin Hearts. I tried to get her to do meditation on Twin Hearts. She could never do it. She would like start bawling like the first minute or two, and she could never get through it. And when I first started doing it too, that forgiveness, you just start weeping when the forgiveness. I think it's everybody. It just really pulls it out of you.
Yes.
So it's so powerful. But yeah, it's amazing.
No, I love how in US, in here, this part of the world, you focus on experiencing energy, and Master Glenn is so much into like science, and let's validate everything. So whatever happened, let's scan to see what is your understanding. Let's validate, which is really interesting. I'm learning a lot, and Master Murray like shares a lot about her experiences that gives you a lot of insight. I also love that. And Master Ko, we worked with him a lot with Beyond the Mind, and he is fantastic. I don't know how he manages to do all these workshops, and his classes are always packed. Like when we have a session with him, is like packed. It's amazing. The energy is amazing. Master Nona, the first class I joined with him was a session in IIS when I was in Philippines, and it's like so much of love, and that energy is so soft and loving and warm. It makes you want to hug her. Yeah, each of the masters are different. This is amazing.
I love one of the, practical application which he shares in life about, you're driving and need a parking spot, and her go-to is Hail Mary, full of grace, help me find a parking space.
Yeah,
Works like
it's
a charm,
amazing.
works like a charm, especially for her. But yeah, she's going to be in the Arahant Yoga Retreat in March in New Jersey. Are you going to be there?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'll be there. So hopefully I can make an introduction to Master Nona. I've seen her at a couple of different retreats, but I haven't really had any interpersonal. Maybe you can make an introduction for me. I get shy around the master. Master Co was there in 2020, and he's the reason that I found Pranic Healing through with Tony Robbins event, because he's out there, with Tony Robbins, 15, 20, 40,000 people at a time, spreading Pranic Healing and meditation on Twin Hearts. That's what got me into really searching with Pranic Healing. I couldn't find a workshop fast enough after my first meditation on Twin Hearts experience. But yeah, Master Co, I haven't met him, but I'm a big fan of his too.
Yes, for sure. He's and like I remember when we had workshops like or sessions with him on Beyond the Mind, and he's quite funny. Right, half an hour before, let's say we have a workshop on Saturday, he just message and say it was on Sunday, right? And you're like, Master, no, it's Saturday. And he says, yes, I know, I was joking. So he likes to joke with the sessions. And it's very, very interesting. Each of the masters is amazing. That's why I really like to do classes with different masters, because each give you a different understanding of the teachings. And even if you do with one master, each time you go higher and higher in understanding what the teaching means, or what is the application to your life at that moment, at that point of time.
Yeah. I tell you what, I so happy that you're here. It's been amazing, fast time with you. But before you go, I just want to put up a little bit of your contact information. So Facebook, it's at Prana World Lifestyle Center. Email, you can get in touch with Hengameh, hello@pranaworld.net, and then the website, pranaworld.net. Great resources. I'm super excited that you were here, and you're doing amazing work. I'm blessed. I'm
Thank you
blessed
so
to know
much.
you. Blessed to know you. So it is time to take another break. So I am your host, Bob Kolazarik, and you've been watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. I'll be right back.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense Radio Show with host Dr. Broderick. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Bob Kolazarik, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. And can I just say, wow, what a fantastic guest. I mean, Hengameh, she's my first, what I would call, international guest. We're going global on the show. Whoop, whoop. Although she does happen to be residing in Philadelphia area, my neck of the woods, like I said earlier. So it was really great to meet her in person, you know, her and her husband for a meal around the holidays. It's not very often we get to meet people within the community, global community, or just like most people on my show, different parts of the country. So it's always great to meet in person. There's just builds that bond, a stronger energetic connection. It's bonding. So I'm just so grateful for her friendship. Next week, I'm going to follow up with another international guest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, going global. My guest next week is Evita Miriam. She is a pranic healer and narcotic yogi. But the subject that I am most interested in and excited to talk about is arithmosophy. It's hard to say. I don't know if I even am saying that correctly, but she's an expert in esoteric arithmosophy. And what that is according to Pythagoras, it elevates numbers to their meaning. It's the spiritual science for self-knowledge. It can show us who we are, what we are here to do, and when our life's forces come into play. Now, I've given her some information on me, some reoccurring numbers that show up in my life as coincidences and synchronicities that Hengameh and I were talking about. So I have no idea how it works. I've never studied it. I am super open to learning about it and super excited to see what she pulls together for me. And I also want to send great blessings to my friend Ray Indigo of Formula Flawless. She was on the show a couple episodes ago, and I know she has an audition today for Shark Tank, and hopefully she gets some backing and takes her business to a whole nother level. That's super exciting, so I can't wait to hear how that turns out for her. But we're still fresh in the new year, and I want to wish you all great successes in 2024 and whatever success means to you. For most people, they think in terms of financial success, financial terms, but success could be becoming closer to your friends and family. Maybe that's really important. Opening your heart, becoming more loving, taking better care of your own body, mind, and soul. Whatever way to have some growth, personal growth. Maybe success is walking away from things that are not good for you. You'll have success in creating better boundaries for yourself. I mean, these are important things. So however the success is defined by you, I just want to say, may God and the higher beings bless you with whatever success you are looking for in your hearts of hearts. Really, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, I am Bob Kolazarik, and you've been watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. I'll see you next week. Namaste, everyone.
This has been Greetings from the Ashram with host Bob Kolazarik. Through meaningful conversations and practical insights, this show invites you to explore the endless possibilities for personal growth, healing, and spiritual awakening. Tune in each week to discover how these practices can bring balance and harmony to your life, making it a true journey of self-discovery. Fridays, 7 p.m. on the Bold Brave TV network.